Diablo 4 is completely dead. If time is infinite, and every possibility, no matter how small, is gonna come true at some point or another, Diablo 4 would still be one of the worst games ever made. That's right, Diablo 4 is so bad, we need to use meta space-time theoretical physics to describe how bad actually things are. This game, at this point, is probably played by 5 players, and 3 of them are Elon Musk. It is bad, and there is no chance of recovery ever at this point.
Hey folks, this is Riker, and Diablo 4 Season 9 test server is live, and, well, we'll get into that. We've got nerfs, we've got new powers, we've got 3
You know it's bad just from that.
dungeons and a trench coat. Meanwhile, Path of Exile 1 is teasing some amazing quality of life buffs, thanks to features ported over from PoE 2. And PoE 2 is teasing new chase runes for endgame crafting. Then the Elden Ring spin-off Night Rain has launched to mixed reviews, while the Black Panther game is being cancelled. And then StarCraft alum David Kim's new RTS also got cancelled. We'll dive into all that and more. Grab your coffee, your tea, your mana potion, whatever. And if you enjoy these weekly roundups, hit that subscribe button so you never miss a new story. We'll start with some Path of Exile news. First up, the new Secrets of the Atlas expansion for PoE continues to hype people up as the devs keep dropping teasers of what's coming with it. And one of the first things we learned is that PoE 2 actually positively affected PoE 1 because some PoE 2 features are making their way over to PoE 1. For instance,
imagine being positive about the game you play. That's crazy. PoE truly is good.
pausing. No, really. Pressing escape or opening any full screen interface like the passive skill tree will now actually pause the game just like in PoE 2.
Oh my god. There have been too many times in PoE 1 where I have just died because I'm like, okay, time to allocate 3 skill points. It's not my fault I remembered I need to do that while I'm fighting a boss.
Pause will also automatically trigger if lag is detected or if you disconnect. Now, of course, you still can't pause during, like, pinnacle boss fights because,
Holy, did they just literally outdo what Blizzard has been trying to figure out for 20 years at least? Oh my.
the point here isn't to cheese the game. But that's not all. The patch is also bringing some spicy quality of life buffs. The Atlas and map device got some long overdue love. You can now use Orbs of Horizon to reroll Elder and Conqueror Guardian maps. That's massive for solo self-found players. It's going to make chaining maps so much smoother. Also, the map device now has a small built-in inventory, so you don't have to keep running back and forth to your stash. And when you right-click an orb, maps in your inventory will actually highlight now, just like in PoE 2. These little touches, but they add up. The betrayal system is also getting a bit of love. Overall, Secrets of the Atlas is already building up a lot of hype before we even get its full reveal. As for PoE 2, patch 0.2.1 is bringing a major update to the socketable crafting system in the form of 22 new runes.
By the way, this is mainly supposed to be a Diablo 4 video, okay? We're here for Diablo. But imagine you're a Diablo 4 player and the last time you heard good news was when Diablo 4 was announced and it didn't look like shit. And, other games are constantly just having victory over victory. Path of Exile 2, Last Epoch. Last Epoch is literally almost perfect at this point. They just need to add more stuff, and that's pretty much it. They already have a lot of stuff. And then you are there, a Diablo 4 fan just crying in the corner, huddled up, shaking slightly, and still trying to whisper to yourself, it's fine. Diablo 4 is a good game. Diablo 3 became good on, what did people say? Season 35? Season 35 and Diablo 3 was a good game. Dude, that's honestly even worse than Starfield's classic. Oh, you need to be a new game plus 6 and have to spend 20 hours playing. Otherwise, the game's not really that good. But that's when it really opens up. Bro, the toxic positivity is really an issue in gaming, huh?
Now, the purpose of socketables at launch was to smooth out your stats during campaign progression, fill in some resists or attributes that you're missing. But now, what they're adding is effectively chase socketables for endgame to really min-max your build once you're at that point. And these new runes are world drops only, no upgrading your old runes into them. You gotta go out
Ooh.
and find them. Some of the new runes are game changers. One gives movement speed for boots, so in other words, that's gonna be best in slot right there. Overall,
Mandatory.
these serve as effective chase items because you're really going to want these rare and valuable drops. So what do you folks think? Are you more hyped for PoE 1 or PoE 2 right now? Sound off in the comments. Moving on to Diablo news. As a reminder, Season 8 of Diablo 4 is likely wrapping up on June 30th, at least according to the current Battle Pass.
What was Season 8? Oh, yeah, the worst thing ever.
So if you're still grinding out that last cosmetic, clock's ticking. Meanwhile, the Season 9 PTR has been running this week. Check out my video going over what Season 9 entails if the rest of what I talk about is going to confuse you. There's a lot of nerfs in Season 9, not necessarily a bad.
Season 9 is ridiculously bad, by the way. Okay? Season 8, I thought was initially going to be good. Okay? I thought that it's actually going to do some good for it once in this godforsaken game, okay? But no, it turns out Season 8 was absolutely the lowest thing ever because it had potential. It gave you slight hope. And then you saw it, then you played it, and all of that was crushed because it was so shit. And now Season 9 is going to be literally a carbon copy of Season 8, and some people who are super coping are like, oh no, it's different, it's good. It's literally the same system with less shit in it even. Less! 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 How is there less shit in it now? Season 8 was bad, but the 9 is even less shit. Insanity. The Diablo 4 cope has reached such a tremendous level that someone needs to study this.
It won't be as easy to hit Torment 4. That is to say, not as many builds will be efficient in Torment 4, especially against bosses. We're probably going to see quite the reduction in build diversity in T4. My preliminary thoughts on the Season 9 patch.
Yeah, because that's exactly what I want in my game. Only one way to play it and never any deviation because reasons. Yeah, that's exactly what I want.
Hours, I'm concerned we won't see very much variety. The system of building a power through multiple components, it's more depth than we've ever had in a seasonal power system. But there just seems to be a couple picks that will be meta for many builds.
By the way, if you're not a Diablo 4 player, it's like, do you even know what's happening on screen? I play this game slightly. And yet, I have absolutely no goddamn clue what I'm looking at.
I'm hoping it's just we haven't found the best combinations for all the builds so far. Or, I mean, they can still rebalance things, of course.
Well, one of these things that he's using is an ulti, and I have no idea how he's spamming it.
If their telemetry is telling them that everyone is taking these, like, same two or three options. I also didn't really get to test the process of acquiring and growing with these powers.
Oh, by the way, I saw a tweet that Elon Musk is the #1 on the Diablo 4 hardcore ladder. At this point, there's literally no fucking way that he is playing that shit. Okay, he bought the carry. He Elon Musk 100. There's no way he has not bought a carry. There's no way there's not some poor Asian guy playing his account 24/7. And, you know, he's already in the goddamn net around the building, okay? He's entangled. They're not even tangling him out because that's how over it is. There is no way he is doing that solo.
It wasn't. There were some hurdles in the test server where just some things we didn't really have access to. I basically had a maxed out character using these powers, and with this maxed out character, I didn't really feel the impact of the powers. So maybe at lower level, you do feel the impact of the powers, hopefully. As for
Probably not. We saw how the powers will look. Okay, listen. Season 8 can be summarized like this. there's like roughly 5 powers that were usable and everything else was shit that it could have been deleted and no one would even bat an eye. And season 9 is like, oh, you know what? Instead of actually making everything else good, we're just gonna make 5 powers in general. Not that they're all gonna be good, probably. Now it's gonna make it so there's only one usable power, but I mean, no, there's actually no point in that. It's just how things are gonna be, and there's no logic behind it.
For the escalating Nightmare Dungeons new feature, well, it's more interesting than what Nightmare Dungeons used to be. The reworked affixes are nice. Like once I was going through a dungeon and just randomly there were chests full of obols. That was neat. Overall, though, I'm
Wow.
concerned that these escalating nightmares just kind of feel like we're doing
So what? Now I'm gonna supposed to be clicking on chests? I mean, what?
3 nightmare dungeons back to back. I don't know that we really feel the sense of escalation. But again, you know, maybe my character was just too strong, so I didn't get to experience the increase in difficulty. The affixes just don't really feel like they matter all that much. I'm also concerned that the final boss
Most people are actually currently thinking, do I even know what affixes are in this game? Because none of them ever matter.
fight at the end is going to get old fast. It's nice that we have this new, different boss, but it's always the same final boss at the end of the 3 escalating nightmares. And also, he kind of takes quite a while to kill, and I'm wondering, is this even like worth the time to kill him, or should I just skip him and start a new escalating nightmare? Again, though, there were some hiccups with the test server that impacted the overall experience, so I'm trying to keep that in mind. Now, another new feature is the Heraldric Strong Rooms. These are a nice little surprise to find in Nightmare Dungeons. These seem to be the
Ah, yes. Strong boxes were taken, so strong rooms. Okay, listen, Diablo 4. You're 9 seasons too late to steal from other games. You have spent 9 seasons implementing Diablo 3, a failed game's mechanics, into Diablo 4 in hopes that that will... Bro, no, I'm still honestly pissed about this. I still honestly am. The Diablo 4 devs are just such clueless losers. They're so useless. ChatGPT could honestly make a better game. And you know why? Because Diablo 3 was a failure. Complete trash assembly line, goddammit, at this point. And the Diablo 4 devs are like, let's take the mechanics of Diablo 3 and put them in 4 because that works. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
return of Season 7 root holds, right? Those were a cool little feature. At the start, you kind of have the ability to select, I think you pick like 3 out of 5 modifiers for this little mini dungeon. And then your objective is to basically rack up as many points as you can in a limited amount of time. Similar to Undercity. It's just like a nice little addition to Nightmare Dungeons. I think it's going to be something pleasant to stumble upon. Ultimately, as I've said
No.
of the past couple of seasons, the Season 9 offerings doesn't seem to be the kind of stuff that's going to bring players back to the game, but for those who stuck around for the game, it's all
I mean, what will, though?
nice additions. But if we're talking about stuff that would either bring people back or get them to keep playing a season for longer, I actually released this week my video on a new endgame system that could be added to D4, or at least the kind of thing that I would like to see added to D4. Do check that out. See if you also would like to see something like that added into the game. Otherwise, folks, what are your early thoughts on Season 9? Sound off in the comments. Oh, and small quality of life feature
Thankfully, I don't even need to sound off in the comments. You know very well what I think about this disaster.
request. Can we please craft with runes from our stash? Rather than have to go grab them from the stash, put them in our inventory, run back to the blacksmith to craft, or better yet, can we just get a shared dedicated rune inventory across all characters? Now, here's
No.
something interesting. According to Alani Analytics, about 25 to 30% of Diablo 4 players on Steam have sunk over 100 hours into the game, with
That's because they're bots. Again, I have talked about the Steam numbers. Is he going to show the Steam numbers? No, it doesn't look like it. The Steam numbers, Diablo 4 Steam DB. The Steam numbers for Diablo 4 just don't seem real, okay? They just do not seem real at all, okay? That it just doesn't. It really just doesn't seem real. Let me change the screen, share it with you, okay? So here's the Diablo 4 chart, okay? And this is the Steam one. 56K players, blah blah blah. Now, granted, by the way, just a hot take, real quick here. Again, I did a poll: would people want to buy a Blizzard games on Steam or Battle.net if they had a chance? And overwhelmingly 90% plus, with how many 2K votes? People said that they would buy it on Steam. So if there are new people playing this game, there's a good chance they're actually on Steam. There is there is zero chance that what the Diablo 4 copers are saying is true, and that would be the fact that, oh, the majority of the player base is not on Steam; it's on actual Battle.net. So Steam presents only 10% of the population. Yeah, that's just, again, the Diablo 4 copers have no excuse at this point. They're just idiots. They're brainless and they're playing a garbage game and they can't even admit it. They have no spines. And considering this most likely is now 1/3, up to maybe 50% of the player population, and I think most of this is bots. Because because this is actually, you need to understand, if for any other game, the Steam numbers here shown would actually be pretty good. 55, well, yeah, let's say 55K peak players in 8 months, and and a day 24-hour peak is like 15K, and the daily average is, what is the daily average? No clue, but the daily average is, something around also 10K. That's actually really good. Any other game pulling numbers like this, that would mean that the game is actually thriving, that the game is good, that the people are loving the game. Okay, listen. Helldivers 2 has slightly better average daily numbers than this. There's not a lot of games that have slightly better daily numbers than this. Okay, a lot of established and good and beloved games. But Diablo 4 somehow, even though everyone has quit the shitty game and no one's playing and the interest has completely dried up. Now, this must be bots. We know that Diablo 3 was massively botted, and there's no way that Diablo 4 is not absolutely beyond massively botted, right? So it just makes sense, especially considering how hard it is to actually get some of the better items in Diablo 4 if you want to pump. Okay? So again, there is no way. Diablo 4 is I would say that 50% of the player base for Diablo 4 is most likely botted at this point. It's completely over.
2.3% having played for over 500 hours. Alan compared 3 games, Diablo 4, Baldur's Gate 3, and Elden Ring, all RPGs, but all very, very, very different games. For Baldur's
And what? So you're gonna tell me that Diablo 4 had the best app? Again, you can't show me more statistics that say, wait a minute, Diablo 4 is somehow, some magically how, showing us constant statistics that would mean that people like the game, but no one's playing, no one's talking about it, and people are just shitting on. Like, listen, I don't remember when I made the last positive Diablo 4 video, probably 2 years ago. And when when I talked poorly about Diablo 4, while it wasn't even considered a bad game, when I had some doubts, when I was worried about some things, people downloaded the videos and blah blah blah. Now no one does. Now no one even tries to argue that Diablo 4 is a complete trash pile. If people really like Diablo 4, that would be happening. But instead, it's not. But the numbers are somehow good. It's bots. It's 100% bots.
Gate, about 33% of players played for over 100 hours. And for Elden Ring, a whopping 43% of players played for more than 100 hours. That's actually incredible. Diablo 4 has the advantage of being a live service game that gets new content to experience every 3 months. Baldur's Gate 3's numbers come from a very lengthy campaign with lots of replay value through the story, right? There's so many different permutations and narrative choices leading to different endings. But then you got Elden Ring. You know, it's just a testament to the game's replayability via its New Game Plus modes, the vast open world, the build diversity. I mean, I remember a statistic from, it was about 10 years ago, more, almost 15 years ago, that showed that something like 8 hours was the average amount of time anyone spent on one specific game. And this number was going around so much that
That's even too much, I think, honestly, at this point.
devs were actually shortening their like single player campaigns. Like, let's say a Call of Duty style game, they're like, well, what's the point of making a 10-hour campaign if people don't play the game for more than 8 hours? Let's shorten the campaign to 8 hours. So for so many people to have spent over 100 hours in Elden Ring really is a testament to just how great that game is. Now, speaking of Elden Ring Night Rain is
Okay, that's it for Diablo. Again, it's so it's just trash. What am I supposed to say? Anyway, that was Riker. Thanks for watching. Bye.